Formula One moves back into action after the summer break. We're here in the Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix at a seaside resort half an hour away from Amsterdam. Welcome to Zandvoort. It's round 15 of the Formula One World Championship as well. Next week we are in Monza, the home of the Tifosi for the Italian Grand Prix. September also takes us to Azerbaijan for the last European race of the season, and then the flyaway in Singapore begins. The Americas leg starts in October after another month's break, with the Circuit of the Americas hosting the United States Grand Prix for a week later in Mexico, and then a further week later in Brazil, leading us to November, which also hosts Las Vegas. December rounds out the season with Qatar and Abu Dhabi back-to-back. Max Verstappen leads the Drivers' Championship on 277 points, clear to Lando Norris on 199. Charles Leclerc is 10 clear to Oscar Piastri in 3rd and 4th, with Carlos Sainz 5th. Double Grand Prix winner this season, Lewis Hamilton, now on 150 after George Russell's disqualification in Belgium. Sergio Perez is in 7th position, the only driver in the top 4 manufacturers yet to score a race victory this season. Alonso and Stroll round out the top 10. Nico Hülkenberg is 11th on the same amount of points as Yuki Tsunoda. They're 10 clear to Daniel Ricciardo. Ollie Bearman has 6 points after his amazing Saudi Arabia race. He's level with Gasly, 1 clear to Magnussen and Ocon. Alexander Albon is the last driver with points. Zhou, Sargent and Bottas still pointless. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way, 408 points, but they are being massively closed in by McLaren on 366 and Ferrari on 345. Mercedes now getting their act together in the second half of the year as well, with 3 of the last 4 race victories. They're in 4th. Aston Martin have 5th from RB in 6th. Haas are 7th. Alpine 8th. Williams 9th. Sauber still no points on the board. Let's take a look around this circuit. Zandvoort in the Netherlands, a 2.646 mile circuit, 14 turns, elevation changing up and down, 3 bank corners as well, and one of the best circuits on the calendar to return to Formula One. Get a good launch at the last corner of the banking and hurtle down towards turn number 1 of Tarzan. 8th gear flat out, hit the brakes with about 70 metres to go. A long sweeping double apex right-hander which tightens towards the pit exit. Turn 2 and 3 fall together as well, and now into the banking. Take a low line, let the car drift up high if you need it. It's not going to compromise too much on your overall lap time. Now coming through the dune section as well, really get the car up to speed as you take several parts of the track flat out. Lift up the brakes ever so slightly, drop down 2 gears down to 6th. Full throttle now, drop down 5th gear, flick the car into the right, then back down 5th, 4th, 3rd, flick the car in once again and get back on the power. Turn 9 and 10 now. Hard on the brakes, to the left, double apex again, light the power and then open up the DRS zone as well. Continue with the power down towards the chicane, another heavy braking spot as well. Have to tarmac on the inside line as well to stop gravel coming onto the circuit. Very tight, twisty, slow, stoppy section. Now it's all about the banking, the last corner here at Zandvoort. Get a good entry into the last corner and then boot it hard. Don't lift up the brakes once, keep the car to a low centre line. More degree there at the last corner there is at turn 1 at Indianapolis. Across the line, and that is a lap of Zandvoort. Hello everybody and welcome back to Formula One. The long summer break is over and we can get going. The last of the European races starts here and now. Welcome to a very wet and blustery Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. Hello everybody, welcome to the only race on the calendar that has about 3 different names. We're at Zandvoort, we're at the Dutch Grand Prix in the Netherlands. That's 3. Do you want a 4th? Yeah, Holland. This is just a crazy weekend, you never know what to call it. Compared to Imola, this place is tranquil repose. But welcome to what is going to be a very exciting round 15 of the season. 10 races to go in F1 2024, and we're into the last phases of the European season. Alongside me in the commentary box is Josh T for the opening practice session, and JT back at Zandvoort, but in hurricane season it seems. It must be a bit similar to what we have in Hawaii. It's beautiful scenery, beautiful beaches, beautiful racetrack, but the weather's not on our side.
Right now as well, because we currently got a storm in it. I was up at 3 a.m. 40 miles per hour gusts, and I could hear it through the windows, and that is making it good for touring car setup. Which
Yeah.
is funny because it's Donington.
Yeah, and having been to Donington, we know exactly how wet and windy that can be. Thankfully, I'm not there this weekend as well. I've done Donington 3 times this year alone. I think I can give one of them a miss for that one. F1 Kids is back this weekend as well, if anybody wants to know, on Race Day on Sunday. So just a heads up there. They've got some interviews coming throughout the weekend as well. Scarlett's been out doing some stuff, and that's going to be in the pre-race show as well on Sky, and we'll even hear it as well. So lots changing this weekend. JT's not with us on Sunday for the main action, so he's here Friday and Saturday.
A very wet Donington.
Where are you going?
I've just had a look at the weather.
You're going to miss out.
The wind has gone, but Donington is thundery showers and a gentle breeze tomorrow. Sunday, night rain and stuff.
No change there then, so that's going to be quite interesting to keep an eye on everything as well. There's the live look at the... Now, why has the blog just reset itself? Parasailing is the way to go here as well. It's wet, windy and crazy at Zandvoort. Here's your forecast for us. 2:45 we're back on air for the free practice 2 session as well. F1 Academy practice 2 is at 4. Grand Prix as well, qualifying is at 1:45, practice 3, 10:15 a.m. And you can join us for the race day action 1 air at 1 p.m. Lights out at 2. All set then for the Grand Prix of the Netherlands to kickstart in 2024. Let's head up for FP1. It's the first practice session for the 2024 Dutch Grand Prix. It's round 15 of Formula 1 in 2024, where we go 24 times around the world in 6 sprint races. Here at Zandvoort, though, we kickstart with Orange Fever. Max Verstappen is king around these dunes, and he has won the last 3 out of 3 races. Zandvoort is a historic Formula 1 circuit, been on and off the calendar in Formula 1 since the 1960s. It's 59% full throttle, 2 DRS zones, elevation change 8.6 metres, top speed over 200 miles an hour, 14 turns in total. But this heavily revised original circuit is still awesome. A banking last corner that everyone loves. Pirelli this year bringing the hardest tyres, hard C1, medium C2, soft C3, but with the wind, the chill and the rain, Bonnie Tyler has suggested the green intermediates and blue for wet weather tyres, and you can see why as we welcome you up to the commentary box for free practice 1. The conditions are horrendous. We have not got information whether we will start or not, JT, because big black clouds, big amount of rain, big amount of wind. It is almost a red flag situation. Same is due tomorrow, and the rain in the last 5 minutes, JT, has got even heavier. So welcome to the weekend, and welcome to what, as always, is going to be a very strange Dutch Grand Prix. Yeah.
We'll see if we get underway for some wet running, and some wet running could be vital and in this weekend if tomorrow is wet for qualifying as well. Of course, they'll have practice free tomorrow if this one gets rained off, but it looks okay at the surface.
Let's head down to the pit
But
lane. Bernie
we'll have to
Collins
see.
is down there for us.
Cars looking to go out.
Well, hello, Rachel. Yeah, it's nice to be down here in the pit lane. It's good to be back from the summer break, but it is wet and windy down here. And a big shout out to you, Rachel, because it's your coat that I'm actually wearing. And if I just step out a little bit, you can see the wind. The wind's really blowing down this. You can see the hood. The wind's really blowing down the pit lane here. It's pretty wet, and the hair is not going to survive for very long. But there's lots of people on the pit walls. They are all ready to see if the session starts on time and gets away. But there's not a lot of movement in the garages. One of the things that we have seen is Ferrari had some big rakes on one of the cars yesterday, obviously planning to do some tests, and they've taken that off today because they're not going to get a lot of information that's very good. So it's pretty quiet down here at the minute, Rachel.
Thank you very much, Bernie. And the session should start on time in about 60 seconds. If the green light doesn't go on, we know there's a problem. We've got no information up from race control whether or not we're going to have a delay or not. Bernie's still got some news there with Rach. Back to you.
To lose a session, you know, FP1 here, you want to get a read on the car. FP1 at every track, but this track is quite short. The lap times are going to be really tight in qualifying. You want to get everything out of the car. It is the same for everybody, but you're just keen to get going. You've done all the prep yesterday as you normally would, so it is just about try and crack on with it now. Get that all-important learning that you need for the rest of the weekend.
All right.
Thanks very much, Bernie. The session should be going green. We've got no information from race control saying it's going to be delayed. All we have is DRS disabled. That's a natural progression. Everyone watching in with the amount of rain that's coming down could be in for an hour podcast, everybody, as, they've got some crisps up there, those young chaps. I'd love a packet of crisps. Let's see if Megan can deliver one to the commentary box. Daniel Ricciardo, who said he's very surprised. He felt that there might be an opportunity to shift over to the main team at Red Bull, but knows he hasn't done enough in their first half of the season to warrant that change. The green light has gone on, so this session is officially underway here at Zandvoort. We are waiting, though, to see what the situation will be. No one at all, JT, in a hurry to go out. We might, however, see Robert Schwartzman, who is in for Valtteri Bottas in his first practice session. He might head out onto the circuit to get some data out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see Robert Schwartzman in an F1 car. There's Albon, who has just put his visor down, looking ready to get out on track, and then he pops it back up, so he falls us all.
Yeah, we're just trying to work out everything at the moment up here in the comms box and get the data working. So far, there's nothing official. Yuki Tsunoda's on the pit wall. He is going out in this session alongside Daniel Ricciardo. We also have the news breaking this morning that we have the brand new Formula 1 driver for 2025. That, of course, of Jack Doohan, who has officially been announced as partnering up with Pierre Gasly at Alpine, and Pierre Gasly is now leaving the pit lane in that Alpine. Peter Bonington, the head of race engineering at Mercedes-AMG, he's been promoted. He will not be following Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari in 2025. He's accepted a promotion inside of Mercedes, and he will still function as the race engineer for Lewis Hamilton for the remainder of the season. And JT, conditions out there do not look good.
You can tell how much I've been following Formula 1 in the summer break. I had no idea about any of that. That is how busy I've been on all of the other stuff. I think I've sent you the thing that I've named it, the tour of the South that I'm doing, around all different tracks and stuff. But yeah, the conditions are, well, we don't normally see the blue wet tyres, so that says something.
Yeah, they're really shocking out there, aren't they? As we're just trying to get the data screen to show the full driver track, because obviously it's a shorter track here this weekend, so we need to increase the size of the cars on the track.
It's quite compact as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the best, is it, to come through out there? I think, there we go, that's done it. changed it up to 40.
I think
Go on.
when I had my multi-screen, this track was one of the only ones that I had to rotate to get it on because of its shape.
Yeah. I've got it on now. It looks okay. It looks a bit dodgy, but we'll see if they... Sometimes they change it automatically themselves. Well, hang on. Can you rotate the track yourself? On multi-view?
On the delayed. I don't know about multi-view.
Ah, right. No, I can't twist it around because this is the official timing pages that we got coming through as well. So green light's gone on. We've had Gasly and Gasly and Magnussen go out. Hulkenberg is thinking about going out on the circuit. Has gone out onto the circuit. He's followed out. Gasly's done another run around. So it's Hulkenberg and Gasly out there. Got two cars leaving pit lane as well. Robert Schwartzman, as I said, would be heading out there predictably. Would be flying out onto the circuit. And there's another one who's just come out of the pit lane, hasn't he? It's Kevin Magnussen who's gone back into the pit lane. Okay. I thought maybe K-Mag might switch it back up a little bit. What problem is, JT, with these conditions? It's incredibly difficult. As Gasly...
How's the track?
Hulkenberg's out.
It's pretty wild with the wind.
Yeah, how's the track? Pretty well with the wind, says Gasly. Monica Hulkenberg going straight on down at turn 10, JT, and proving that just blustery conditions are going to be the big factor here today.
Yeah, absolutely, because, well, crosswinds, and if you follow the Lancaster at Coningsby, you know that the past couple of weeks has been annoying with the crosswind limits and that displaying, and it's the same with these, just a bit of a higher limit. Just goes straight on, tries to turn, and just doesn't.
Yeah, just goes straight, could not move it at all out there on the circuit. Well, I'm trying to do several things at once to get this working, but we are having a few technical gremlins. You always do when you first up. I don't think the wind's helping either on either side due to the... Gasly calls it pretty windy as well, some in the gravel. Schwartzman's out there on the full wet weather tyres. Everyone is out there on full wet weathers, by the way. No one's gone out on inters straight away. I think that was to be expected though, JT, wasn't it, with the way the track is at the moment? Yeah, I think.
So, got Schwartzman, 2020. He was...
Hello, Angry Noob. Nice to see you again. Go on.
4th place in F2, 2021. 2nd place in F2 with Prima. Then in 2022 he became F1 Ferrari reserve driver, which he held for 22 and 23. And now this year he's testing an F1 car. I'm guessing still reserved for Ferrari.
Looks to be at the moment, yeah. To go into it. Schwartzman, of course, back in. Nice to see him actually back on the board here. He's back into the pit lane as well, so Zhou Guanyu, the only driver out there on the circuit, might box this lap, however, if conditions do not improve. Last corner, copy that. So yeah, Zhou being told to come into the pit lane. Out onto the track comes Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, so he's now going to venture out, explore the tricky conditions we've got out here. I suppose this is the problem, isn't it, Josh? Because one wrong move and you lose everything in a day, because this track bites. We saw it in F2 last year in much similar conditions, actually.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons that you could lose it all. Carlos Sainz turning in and taking a little bit too much curb, and what met him on the curb was a massive puddle inside the curb.
Coincidentally enough, the multi-viewer here is saying that it's not raining. There's no rain. Don't know what that is looking at, but there is rain. Track temperature is at 20.9, air temperature 19.7. Do you want to know the wind speed at the moment? 25.2 kilometers an hour. It is really brisk out there, and it's going to be affecting the cars, especially in this ground effect era of Formula One, as Sainz comes into the bottom half of the track into 10, 11 and 12 through the stadium sector, where they've actually, remember, glued part of the gravel track down to make sure it's all there. Yes, Jess, multi-viewer is lying, and Jess says Hello, Josh and JT. Whilst I am watching at work, great to be back in the JBMotorsports comms box this weekend. It's been a long time. It has. Jess was supposed to be with us in Belgium, but unfortunately had COVID, so was not up to it. She was supposed to be in the box, so she's back with us this weekend. Jess is covering F1 Academy. She'll be hanging around in the F1 paddock as well. She's covering Porsche Super Cup, and she's also got race 2 at Donington Park this weekend. So Jess is really sorry, Jess, you're being thrown right back in to the deep end. Go on.
So basically what we're saying is that Jess had COVID, got rid of it, and then a couple of weeks it travelled, and then it got to Richie.
Yeah, Richie's on COVID now.
So Jess
as well.
gave COVID to Richie. Noted.
Let's head down to the pit lane again with Bernie.
But yes, see Oscar Piastri stood in the garage behind me. His McLaren doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon, but they have got a whole raft of upgrades in this McLaren today. So they have got a new front brake duct scoop. So the scoop on the front of the brake duct has changed. As a result of that, some of the front suspension has changed in order to allow that improved flow cleanly to the back of the car. They've also changed along the floor edge, and then as well as that, the rear corner and a new rear wing and beam wing at the back of the car. Now the new rear wing is because this is a circuit that demands a little bit more downforce, so that's a bit circuit specific, but there are a whole host of changes on both of these McLarens. So although they're stood in the garage very quiet now, they will be very keen to get out and test those upgrades and make sure that it is working this weekend, because they're on both cars and it'll significantly change the layout and the flow of air across this car and hopefully make them a little bit faster.
Thank you, Bernie. So let's check in then quickly with Robert Schwartzman. He was on the team radio. This is what he had to say. I've clicked it. Let's see if it actually plays. That's always the case.
Yeah, to be honest, the track felt quite okay. There was no big puddles anywhere, so...
So Schwartzman thinks it's okay. These are Pierre Gasly's messages.
How's the track?
it's pretty wild with the wind.
That's what we heard on the radio. This is a secondary message that got sent in. Let's listen.
Okay, Pierre, we're going to box this lap. We've got no threats behind. We'll do one more aero cruise out of turn 10. How's the track?
it's pretty wild with the wind, but it's okay, just go wait. Wind makes it pretty tricky.
Okay, copy that.
That was the full radio message then, JT. That's what I like to hear actually on that front, as no one's out on the circuit. The full-on radio messages to come into effect. I like that actually. We need to hear those. So everyone in the pit lane.
The ones on Sky get quite cut down.
Yes, massively cut down as well. Sky might be offering ad breaks shortly as well to get one of them out of the way during this.
I won't be surprised if they do.
Yeah, we've got BBC Radio 5 Live synced up. Harry Benjamin on the call. They're trackside this weekend. I don't know who's alongside in the commentary box, whether it's Jolyon Palmer or not, because Palmer has been on both things so far this weekend, F1 TV as well. There's Robert Schwartzman's partner watching on in the back of the garage as well. And we always know that Sauber are a bit strapped for cash because the headsets that they've got in the back of the garage are commentary headsets, not too dissimilar to mine and JT's. What have the teams brought to Zandvoort then? McLaren have brought new front corner, front suspension, floor edge, rear corner, rear wing, beam wing as well. Williams have brought floor body, diffuser, side pod inlet, coke engine cover, and a central air intake. So Williams could be quite fast this weekend. Haas have brought a new front wing, nose cone, front suspension, front corner, so new front end to that Haas completely. Red Bull, new engine cover, new halo, and a new mirror stays. Alpine have brought a new front suspension and rear corner, and Red Bull have brought, RB have brought a new V-carb. They've brought a new rear corner as well, so it looks like that's going to be okay. Out onto the track now comes Logan Sargent and Charles Leclerc. So chances of a red flag high with these two. Not to be too rude about it all. Megan's not with us today for the remainder. She's busy. She'll be back with us for the Academy races tomorrow and all the stuff there. Still holding on then with 47 minutes to go of this opening practice session here for the Dutch Grand Prix. Not much is happening due to the conditions, unfortunately. Albon is now joining the track as well. So he's joined behind Leclerc. There's Sky going to the ad break, as I told you. Let's hand over then with a few cars just doing install laps. Let's check in with BBC Radio 5 Live and Harry Benjamin.
And it was quite common to see all the Mercedes engine cars in the top 10. I don't think they'd made a huge amount of progress with their car at that point. And of course there's a big engine regulation change coming for 2026 as well, and a chassis regulation change for that matter. And I think if you were going to bet on who's going to do a really good job, you'd probably pick Mercedes, because why wouldn't you? You know, Mercedes have been so strong on the engine front for so long in Formula One. Why would they get it wrong? Same with Honda, actually. But Audi is a big question mark. And what on earth is going on at Alpine? You know, are they going to? Looks like they're canning their engine program and going to become a Mercedes customer. But what's happening to the team? Actually, the new team principal, Oliver Oakes, who was only appointed a couple of weeks ago, and Flavio Briatore, the so-called executive advisor, but actually the power behind the throne there. They're doing a news conference tomorrow morning, which I think will be interesting. Lots of interesting questions to be thrown at them. So actually having a Mercedes engine in Alpine might have been a reason to go there, but there's so many other question marks about Alpine that you can see why science would choose Williams at the moment. Everyone in Formula 1 thinks Alpine is being set up to be sold. Alpine deny it. Renault CEO Luca De Meo denies it, but nevertheless that's what it looks like to people. I mean, what they say, you know, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck.
Do they?
Yes, they do, Harry.
That's how people describe Harry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, there's a lot going on off the track. Indeed, for Kevin Magnussen, who's decided he's not actually going to drive, but he's going to show some VIP guests how the steering wheel works at the back. So he's already being moved on to his job for next year. At the moment, in terms of times, well, Gasly ventured out first and did set a lap time, which is currently holding up as the fastest lap time. Who is out there at the moment? Alex Albon is on an out lap. So too is Charles Leclerc. Apart from that, everybody else is back in the pits. While on the subject of driver moves, Sainz now was the cork in the bottle, Alice, for a very long time in terms of where the driver market was going. That seems to be unleashed right at the start of the summer break. So there's only a few spots left now. One of them, of course, was at Alpine. That has now gone to their reserve driver, Jack Doohan, who will make the step up next season alongside Pierre Gasly. It's quite I think they described it as a nice lineup between you've got youth with both of them actually, but because Gasly got into Formula 1 fairly young, you've got experience there as well. Yeah,
and Jack behind the scenes has been doing a lot of days testing in the last year's car. So he's been busy. He's been travelling to all the races as the reserve driver. He opted not to do a dual program. Sometimes you see reserve drivers stay in F2 as well. Ollie Behrman is an example for that. But Jack's decided, you know what, I'm just going to focus solely on getting as many laps as I can in an F1 car, travel to the races, absorb all the information that he can, so he's not having to say, okay, actually I can't be at this meeting, I've got to go, I've got my F2 race or my F2 quali. And he has worked really hard, and personally, for me, I'm pleased to see that one of the academy drivers has stepped up into a full-time seat.
Yeah, I agree there as well as Sky Fog come back. I agree completely with Alice, because, JT, the one good thing is Charles Leclerc on his lap time. The one good thing about having Jack Doohan just immediately take over in the team, they've had consistency for 2-3 seasons with him as reserve driver. They're not taking a chance on the rookie, they're taking a chance on experience, and that's really a refreshing attitude that Alpine have taken.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I just had a look in F1 chat, and Al had posted something, and it's pretty funny. I don't know if you've seen it, Josh.
I'm not.
Someone replied to the Alpine announcement post of Doohan in 2025 saying, did this one actually sign the contract? The official Alpine Twitter account replied saying, good one, and yes.
Well, yeah, because of course they didn't want Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, did they? They wanted Esteban Ocon alongside Oscar Piastri as well, and Piastri said, go away, I'm going to McLaren, which has turned out to be one of the best decisions in the history of motorsport. He's a Grand Prix winner, he's a sprint race winner, He's got 2 wins to his name. As off the track
Oh,
goes,
there's another
I
half.
think it's Nico Hulkenberg for a second time. Yeah, he's off at turn 9 at the exit as well. So Hulkenberg finding the limits as the wind is increasing out there, 26.6 now. If we get to 30 kilometres, by the way, the red flag might be deployed because it's a danger to life situation, and it's the fans and the marshals they've got to think of as well. So be warned, if we do get to that, we'll see a red flag come out. We've had
Exactly. Yeah, exactly like the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Lancaster that I mentioned earlier. They have a crosswind of 15 knots, and F1 is around 30, depending on, I'm guessing, track and how the terrain is around, because it changes everywhere.
Hulkenberg just went straight on, didn't he? Hit the brake and fronts locked up, both of them.
Once again, he tried to turn, just didn't turn.
Yeah. Now, as I just mentioned, the Haas have got some new front suspension on the front of that car, so maybe they're not working these wet conditions all the way they want them to. Hulkenberg, of course, off to Sauber next year before it becomes Audi in 2026. That's second seat. There's only 3 seats left in Formula 1 to be decided for 2025. That is the second seat at Sauber, the second seat at RB, and the second seat at Mercedes. And we're expecting RB, again, to be Daniel Ricciardo. We're expecting Valtteri Bottas to have the seat at Audi, and we're expecting Kimi Antonelli to have the seat at Mercedes, which leaves Zhou Guanyu, JT, without a drive, and I think fair dues, to be fair. Oh, and Kevin Magnussen, of course. Those two without a drive.
Yeah.
Because Ollie
And
Behrman's on the
I've
house.
just noticed wind 30.6 kilometres an hour, so
Right, we could be
it's
seeing...
hit that 30, so we'll see if we get a red flag. Yeah, Antonelli, I'm surprised he's not getting another year in F2. Of course, it's not been confirmed yet, but I think we all know.
Next week, isn't he? He's getting the drive in the W15 at Monza Practice 1. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Oh,
he's
he's off
not
again!
got another year in F. Oh, he's
gone straight on again, Hulkenberg at turn 1. That front end of the house does not want to stop, but he's locked up both tyres and gone straight off the track again for the 3rd time.
at least there's a designated escape mode there.
This time, yeah. The wind is picking up massively. Here it is again, look then. Those of you listening in. Wasn't even on the throttle. It just not turn in, does it?
No, it does not.
That's K-Mag did 1 lap and came back in, and as you hear Harry Benjamin say, he's been showing VIPs around the garage. George Russell is now out on the track as well for the first time. Anyway, yes, carry on with your Antonelli point.
Yeah, we were hearing that it was going to be rushed, and if he gets F1 next year, then definitely it's going to be rushed. George Russell, the first driver to be disqualified from a race victory since Michael Schumacher at the 1994 Belgium Grand Prix, and of course it had to happen at the same place. And yes, that is wrong because you've got something that happened in
Hamilton,
yeah.
Right, it's wrong and right, that stat. Russell is the first driver to be disqualified from a Grand Prix victory and due to a penalty since Schumacher in 1994. But it's not the first time since then that a driver has lost the race win for a penalty post-race. Lewis Hamilton, 2008 Belgian Grand Prix, got a penalty post-race, dropped him from 1st to 3rd. Sebastian Vettel, Canada 2018, got the penalty, lost him 1st to 2nd. So it's not the first time a driver has lost the race win due to a penalty, but that stat is correct on the stat that it is the first time a driver has fully been disqualified from the race as after winning it since Michael Schumacher. That's poorly written, that stat. I would have written it that George Russell becomes the first driver to be fully disqualified from a Grand Prix race victory since Michael Schumacher in 1994. That's how I wrote the stat, because it's open to interpretation there as to more things have happened. So it's wrong and right, but yeah. Of course, in 1994, Michael Schumacher received a 2-race ban for losing that, as we see Marcus Dudley, the senior race engineer for George Russell at Mercedes as well, whose boss is now Peter Bonington, who's also his co-worker with Hamilton's race engineer. So it gets a little bit weird, that relationship. As Russell has second fastest on 126.828. But we're not expecting much in this session, as Hülkenberg, Russell and Piastri are the drivers out on the track at the moment. Yeah, not great, is it, this one? Jess has also said there are rumours that Marco has told Lawson that he is having a seat in the car, so no pressure. So pressure is on for Perez and Danny Rick, yeah. I think Danny Rick will go up to Red Bull for a year. Personally, I would put Verstappen alongside Tsunoda. I'd put Lawson at RB alongside Isaac Hadjar. That's what I do. Make the junior team a junior team again, not the retired home of XF1 drivers. Because if Sergio Perez gets dropped to RB, that means you've got Perez and Ricciardo at RB. That's stupid. That's totally stupid. And you can't throw Lawson in directly at Red Bull either, because he's not ready. He needs RB. So yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Then again, Piastri's come in straight into a top team with like McLaren and Sean. Maybe Liam Lawson could do just the same thing. Let's see Tom Stallard there watching on. It's a complicated one, isn't it? If you put anyone alongside Max Verstappen, it's not going to work.
No.
Wind's now at 27, by the way. Blowing into the southwest. Bernie's down at Ricardo and Tsunoda's garage.
A few more laps. I think at this stage of the weekend you can't risk any car components, so it's always safer to go in the full wet. We've just seen Red Bull going past us now, also on the full wet tyre, and it is still pretty damp on track. There's not a lot of heat in the ambient air to really help dry it up. It is just the cars running, and that wind will help a little bit as well. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, Rachel, is we're just in front of Daniel Ricciardo's garage here. We've actually got 3 good drivers in the garage. Liam Lawson was in the back a little moment ago as well. But teams start to make changes for these conditions, and it'll match what Ant was saying there about, you know, the braking on the Haas. The front brake ducts here, we've just watched them put this sort of line of silver tape on both of the fronts. It's actually a little bit different on Yuki Tsunoda's car, but that's to help increase the temperature that the brakes are running at in these very cool, damp conditions, to help get temperature into the tyres, because remember, the wet tyres now go on the car without having been in blankets, so those tyres go on cold, and it is about trying to make sure that you can generate enough temperature quickly enough. And the reason it's different across the cars, drivers slightly different or sides slightly different, is both drivers will have slightly different braking style. They put slightly different amounts of energies into the brake, and that will add up to having to need a different cooling spec effectively on that brake. And then the final thing I've just noticed, because we've been stood outside RB, is the pit lane changes for the last 3 garages. So earlier on in the pit lane for the top teams, we still have concrete, but it's actually really rough concrete. And then just at the RB garage, it goes to this, you can see the different colour, and it's much, much smoother. So these 3 pit boxes at the end, the RB, the Sauber and the Haas, that is going to be more of a problem for them during the race if it's wet.
Thank you, Bernie. Yeah, we saw that last year, JT, didn't we? The amount of drivers that were locking up coming into the pit lane and almost running over the mechanics. It was quite a problem, actually, wasn't it, as well? They could not get it spot on exactly how they wanted it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've not changed that
in a year
as well, because some teams could... okay. Well, that's different to what we're experiencing on the ground.
Blue sky! Coming over Zandvoort. Wow. Hopefully that lasts a while, dries this track up. Winds at 26. Brilliant for paragliding, by the way. That's what we've seen, haven't we, JT? So many people out there with kites in the sea.
Yeah.
Windsurfing, that's what it's called. I've remembered myself. Perez still holding on. It's an unusual day here, actually, with no F2 now and just F1 Academy. There's not much going on. Should drive quite quickly, as we saw last year in the Grand Prix. It does drive very fast here. But rain is expected tomorrow for qualifying. Rain's also expected. Should be dry Sunday, but it was supposed to be dry last year and the rain came out. Alonso, Zhou and Schwartzman out on the track. Stroll and Max in the two. DRS has been enabled by race control. That's a stupid decision in 27-kilometre-hour wind. You open up the DRS, you'd be somersaulting down the main straight. So into the pit lane comes Sergio Perez. DRS may be enabled, but they don't want to do anything just yet. Track's still not at 100%. Still, they've been remarkably clean today, these guys. Sun shines out. Track temperature at 21 degrees, air temperature at 20, so similar. Rain in 2 minutes, JT. Oh, great. Never mind then. Here goes Max.
God, I love the changing conditions here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, similar down at Cleethorpes Beach, to be fair. Same area, of course. This is technically my home race as well. It's quicker for me to get to Zandvoort than it is to get to Silverstone, for me. So technically, this always feels like a home race. It's weird how Amsterdam and the Netherlands, it always feels like home, doesn't it, as well, when they come to these races. It's very weird. There was a time change, but it's weird. Qualifying at the same time as the race for the first time this season. Usually there's an hour separating the two. Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator, watching on in the garage. Antonio Giovinazzi, just watching as well. The WEC driver and multiple Le Mans winner, or as many people call him, Italian Jesus. Which always makes me laugh, to be fair. Max has gone straight out, JT, to the delight of the Dutch fans, and he's gone straight out intermediate tyres. He's not messing about, straight out to Inter.
Yeah, everyone up to this point have been going wet, but he thinks the track is dry enough for Inters.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's correct, because if he's correct, he'll return to the pit lane safely. If he's not correct and it's still wet tyres, then we could hear a massive sigh from the crowd and a Red Bull in the barrier.
B-ball offset +1, he's been told on the radar, so he's been told to go for it. So let's see what Max can do. Downhill towards turn 1 at Tarzan. Turns in okay, a little bit of a snap and backs out of the lap time. So yeah, I think you're right, Jet. He's still a bit too wet out there for Inters. He snapped onto braking mid-corner. Into turn 3 at the Gluckenbosch. Takes the high line on the banking. It looks okay to me. Red Bull sounds a bit choky, doesn't it, as well, as we ride driver's eye with Max. First time we've had driver's eye with Max Verstappen. 4 tenths up, though, on the clearest time on these Inters, despite that little mistake at turn 1 at Tarzan. Down in towards turn 9.
Just Max.
Yeah, this is just him, isn't it? He owns this place. 3 times a race winner, 21, 22 and 23. Got 23 by the skin of his teeth. With that red flag with 8 laps to go. Should have been really race over, but you know what F1 would like to do now. It used to be that if we got to 2/3 race... Oh, Max has spun! Max has spun! He's 360'd it, coming into the stadium sector, and there's the crowd gasping. He loops it round, and Max Verstappen has made a mistake down at turn 12. So it is too wet still for intermediate tyres, and Max, I believe, is going to continue on for another lap. But wow, JT, that was a bit of a hard stopper.
What did I say?
Yeah, he called it straight on. He was not happy with that. It has stopped raining now. Winds at 25.9 kilometres. And it's that, let's have a look at it. So I think this is Tarzan. So it turns in, just can't turn, a bit like Hulkenberg, and it snaps mid-corner.
Yeah.
Right, here's the chicane. Is he going to take too much curb and lose it? Yeah. That sausage curb. Oh, Max, lucky boy. If that had gone up the track into the barrier, he would have been very, very embarrassed. Look at the fans and they realise it's Max. Okay, one woman opening her leg and moving it around to the cross. That was not the best time to go super slow-mo, Mr. Director. On that one, that's exposing the poor woman there. But he's come back straight away, Max Verstappen. Just realised what I said there. And he's coming in now with Sector 1 and a 28.2. Sector 2 is a 28.2 as well, so this is looking very good. Max Verstappen is across the line and is fastest. 121.3. Track's getting a bit busy now, JT, whereas intermediate conditions are the best to go through. Here's Lewis Hamilton, down to turn 10.
And keeps it clean through there. We'll see going up towards the complex part of this track, going up into 11 and 12, where Max spun moments ago. Sector 1 is 27.985, purple for in Sector 1 for George Russell. Hamilton getting a little bit of a twitch on the exit of the complex, and now there's a car on the inside, so maybe a little bit of a reaction to that.
Ocon, Schwartzman, Russell's got traffic as well. Hamilton comes across the line, goes up to second, 3 seconds off the pace on the inters, but had traffic. We're all watching George Russell. Ocon second, Russell goes top. 1:24.44. Lovely time there actually as well. Let's hear from Logan Sargent. He's been on the team radio. Let's see what he had to say about the matter.
Okay, watch out the river, turn 11, and box.
Ah, okay, that was him to come through. Track yellow at turn 11 and box. Dry line appearing right at the top of the banking there, JT, that the drivers are going through, so no one taking the low line just yet.
Yeah, they'll be trying to find every possible dry part of the circuit. And there's the track dominance between Schwartzman and Zoe, and that says a lot, doesn't it?
There's Bono. I don't think we're heading down to Bernie, though. Where do you think Sargent will go motorsport-wise in 2025? IndyCar. Prema IndyCar. Gotta be Prema IndyCar.
Yeah.
That's where I'd go. It makes the most sense. There is Bono. And let's just take a look then at Robert Schwartzman in the 97. Way! Snapping out of 3 on the full wets. Full wets are now not the right tyre. Inter's the right tyre now.
Yeah.
We're seeing it much, much faster on those tyres to come into the zone. 25 minutes ago. We're only 35 minutes in.
It feels like we've done an hour and a half back session already.
It does. It's been a slow morning here at Zandvoort. Everyone's a bit rusty getting back into it as well. Let's hear from Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes.
What's where he is in his life, he had to make the best call for what would be best for him and for his family. And that doesn't change anything really between us. We don't get to work together next to each other every day, which will be sad for both of us, and it's going to be emotional. But we're always going to be in each other's lives. So, you know, as Bono's my brother, so yeah, I'm really happy that the team have taken him on, and he's got this great opportunity to grow more within the team, because he's such a great asset for the team.
Lewis Hamilton there speaking about Bono. I agree. Bono has really been the man, hasn't he?
It is going to be weird without Hamilton and Bono.
Yeah. I wonder who his race engineer is going to be then. That's also a factor. Because the one thing we were all hoping for was that Bono would whip Ferrari into gear. Now Lewis is going to have to put up with Ferrari engineers, which worries me slightly.
Yay.
You think Plan A? He'd be phoning Bono in the car. He'd be asking Bono what to do. I wonder if we'll see Lewis Hamilton do what he did in Malaysia in 2013 and stop at the Mercedes garage. Because remember, he stopped at McLaren and everyone laughed. Yeah. That's the last race I missed. Multi-21, Sam. Multi-21. Yeah, I missed it. As Norris goes top 120.392. Yeah, I missed that race. Really annoyed me as well, actually. because I was at Wembley watching football as a birthday present, early birthday present. So yeah, we had to leave during the race. I commentated on it the next day, and I managed to avoid all spoilers as well, which I was impressed about. Then again, no one when I was at school back then, nobody actually enjoyed Formula 1. However, my ICT teacher, and Gasly through the gravel down at Tarzan on the intermediate tyres, gets to the escape road and will continue on, but it's still a bit treacherous out there. Lance Stroll is whining as usual. I have understeer at turn 5 and oversteer at turn 8. I have understeer. He's just repeat. He shouted it several times. JT, have you seen it?
Doesn't he always have understeer at turn 5 and oversteer at turn 8?
Yeah. Lance Stroll is a driver who doesn't deserve to be in Formula 1, but is in Formula 1. There, I said it. Shoot me. Let's have a look at what Gasly did down into turn 1. Gets on the wet apart, tries to brake. It's just he's just gone too quick.
Yeah.
Misjudged the conditions on those inters. Just could not get it stopped in time. Straight on. There is Bono again. Alongside there is Hamilton. Really small garages here at Zandvoort, by the way. The pit lane is the same size as Albert Park. So you know how small that is. Really tight pit lane. Perez off at turn 1 as well. My point stands about drivers determined to be in Formula 1. Is this a Ferrari? Yeah, it's Carlos Sainz, who's just signed as well. We haven't mentioned it so far. But Carlos Sainz has announced a multi-year deal at Williams, which has surprised everybody. He said that he was lured in by how good the technical department's going to be and how good it's going to become. Go, JT. Is Adrian Newey going there?
Yeah, it's also going to be interesting to see, because Carlos Sainz was linked up with the Sauber into Audi program.
Yeah.
But now he's gone to Williams on a multi-year. Has he abandoned that, or is he delaying it?
Yeah, he very much did back out, didn't he, of the Audi deal. He was, because he's very, very, very heavily linked there as well. And now it's he's gone, okay, I'll go Williams then. So there must be something at Williams that swung him that we don't know about yet. And 100% I think it's either Adrian Newey going there. Has to be. Adrian Newey going back to Williams. He likes the underdogs. He won't go to Ferrari. I don't know. Adrian Newey's got 3 places he can go. Ferrari, Aston Martin, or Williams. And, you know, I just think it's going to be Williams. Yellow flag, sector 1. Yeah. There's a spinner at turn 3. It could be Stroll or Sainz. I'm not entirely sure. The yellow has been removed. It was someone must have gone slowly there. We'll see in a second if we get a replay. It could be Lance Stroll. He is going very slowly out there. As we see Hugh Bird, Sergio Perez's race engineer, on the Red Bull pit wall now watching on. So I wonder what we're going to see there. That brief yellow, that flashed out. 19 minutes to go. It does feel like a really long session, doesn't it? Really long today.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. P1 has dragged more than P1 usually does as well. Also, JT, do you remember last year we said about, I'll take some sessions off, I'll have other people leading the sessions.
That happened, didn't it?
No one turns up! Everyone's busy! Yeah, well, we've launched JB Extra. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Football's going to be on that first. I think there's a Monday night game coming.
Hang on. I've got a good idea. There is no one around to do the normal sessions, so let's launch a whole new channel to add extra work.
Yeah, it wasn't really our best idea, was it? We'll see. You wait, JT. Next year, JBMotorsports 2, the home of two-wheeled action, with all we've got going on there, we're gonna have to have a massive recruitment drive. Schwartzman goes 12th. 122.942. So if you are interested in auditioning for a commentary role, let us know. We need to cover World Superbikes, British Superbikes, WCR. I think I've bagged some of it.
Something tells me
Sky, go
that
to a
I'm
break.
taking Superbikes next year.
Maybe, yeah. Sky off to a break. So we're going to hand over as well to BBC Radio 5 Live for some more action out there today as well, as soon as the page loads. It's frozen. Yeah, of course it has. Everything is just on a go slow today. It really has dragged this opening session of the day. Page is unresponsive. Do you know, I really am having, like, the worst morning. It's not just tiny. We all feel it, don't you? You must feel it, JT. It's like, how on earth do we just keep going? Viewing figures currently for BBC Sport F1 are less than 10,000. Just to let you know. It's on the app only this weekend.
But I wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, across the weekend at stages. So it is very windy here in Zandvoort at the moment. 17 minutes and 3, 2, 1 second remain of free practice 1. Lando Norris does have the fastest lap time on that intermediate tyre, a 1:23.92. Then it's Russell, half a tenth behind. Then Verstappen, Sainz, Ocon the top 5. Ricciardo is 6th ahead of Gasly. Then it's Hülkenberg, Alonso and Albon who rounds out the top 10. Magnussen is 11th. Schwartzman and Zhou both on better lap time. Schwartzman actually going quicker than his teammate for this session, Zhou Guanyu. Schwartzman's currently 12th. We'll see where he crosses the line. His teammate Zhou has just gone 12th. Hamilton is down in 14th. Stroll 15th. Then it's Sargent, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Piastri and Perez with no lap times at the moment. Schwartzman, nice lap, puts his Sauber up into 3rd. Now we don't know fuel loads, we don't know what they're running, but I'm sure for a Robert Schwartzman who isn't really in contention for any kind of Formula 1 race seat, that's got to be quite nice to put the Sauber up there in 3rd when your teammate's down in 13th.
Yeah, but the track is drying really quickly, and actually I didn't expect it to dry this quickly. I wonder if by the end of the session we might have someone brave to go out and venture on the slick. So there is a dry line. It's almost like a train track. So if you do make a mistake when you're on the slick tyres and you venture a small portion of your wheel onto a wet patch, that is pretty much game over. And actually Tsunoda is trying to drive a little bit on the wet down the main straight. He pops up into 8th place, one of very few out there. And actually turn 1 is nearly dry all the way around. So the sun is beaming. The track temperature started off at 20 degrees at the start of the session. It's now at 23.1. So the sunshine out there is certainly making a difference.
Max Verstappen in his garage, closing his eyes, or did have them closed, just perhaps a bit of meditation.
Maybe he's got 5 Live on.
Yeah, he's listening to what
listening
we're
to
talking about it, Max Verstappen, who, well, in the last 4 races has only scored 58 points behind Hamilton and Piastri. And of course, well, he's been winless for the last few races. His last win came Grand Prix-wise, came back in Spain for Max Verstappen, his longest winless run in his career, which is extraordinary. He's still able to bank the points, however, unlike his teammate Sergio Perez, who's fallen down in the Drivers' Championship to 7th. He hasn't had a top 6 finish. You've got to go all the way back to Miami, I think, for Sergio Perez. That's a rough run of form.
Yeah, he's not had a great run of it, has he? And I actually kind of, I know many people might not say this or agree with me, but I kind of feel, certainly after Budapest, I felt a little bit sorry for him because I tried to put myself in his shoes. Obviously he isn't performing and he hasn't been performing, and it's a pressure cooker, Formula 1 is. There's so many eyes, there's so much pressure on you. If you make a mistake, everyone looks at you. It's talked about, whether it be in the paddock, on social media, and seeing him in Budapest after that hefty shunt, which caused a lot of damage, millions of pounds worth of damage for Red Bull, he just looked absolutely broken. And yeah, it made me feel sorry for him because, you know, imagine if that was yourself, you know, the pressure. And we've all experienced it, drivers have experienced it before. Okay, I've not been in Formula 1, but certainly in junior categories, when that pressure is on your shoulders, it's horrible and you kind of really get lost. So I almost felt for him
Yeah, thank you very much. This is down to Bernie.
On the dry tyres, I think, in a lot
It's
of these
Oscar.
garages. Oh, there we go. So we missed that one. But what we've seen happen in the Mercedes garage here, they actually change the front wing on Lewis's car. And the reason they do that is they'll have a non-preferred wing on when it's a little bit wet, a little bit damp, more risk on the car. And they've put the preferred one on now with what I suspect is dry tyres. Not sure if it's medium or soft, but George is about to go out, so we'll see what he's got on. Soft tyres down here, and they're getting ready to run this car in much closer to their, you know, race condition, what they want to be running for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you, Bernie. JT, you were saying something just before, in between that. What was it?
Yeah. We were looking at Sergio Perez straight into his eyes, and it looked like he was thinking that he was having a break, so he should have a Kit Kat with the sponsorship on his helmet.
Yeah, that Kit Kat one was weird, actually, from when... I love a Kit Kat, but he says, I never leave the track without two. You know, I always take 2 Kit Kats with me during the weekend. And I was like, 2? 2? Get me a 5-pack of the Chunkies. And then I'll eat that, my God. The Kit Kat Chunky, I could eat millions of them. Like, literally, I could just, I really want chocolate. Normal grip conditions have been declared by the stewards. I want food. I've yet to eat breakfast.
No.
I've got 2 Scotch pancakes smothered in Nutella coming soon as well for breakfast. And considering we got a longer gap as well, I might shove some hash browns in the new air fryer. Oh yeah, my air fryer broke. Sorry, update for you.
Did it?
Yeah, no, yeah, it broke. We had to get a replacement one. It's digital though, this one, and this one is a lot better. But I was trying to cook hash browns in the other one the other day. Just didn't work. The fan blew. So I've only had it 4 months. Really annoyed. So I got a digital one instead. I cooked a curry in it. Delicious. Sorry, I know this is a food channel, but so many people have been asking me about my cooking. I want to see me cook. We'll do a live stream of that one day when we're all bored. Norris's first sector, by the way, is a 26.871, so he's really flying. He's fast overall, though, with Norris second. Piastri up as well, so the McLaren's looking strong. It's a weird session, this. Nobody actually knows what the deal is.
Yeah, it is a weird session.
I just want to get to the end. 10 minutes. It's still 10 minutes to go. It does really feel like it feels like we've been sat in here for 2 hours.
2 hours. ET up 2 hours.
It's really strange. We've been on air just over an hour. And we've got 10 minutes to go to the session. It really is strange. This is great, though. The gyro cam on board with Lando Norris is fantastic. And Norris, a 1:17.367, fastest by 3 seconds over the run. I'm expecting Piastri to jump to second here and does so on the dry, soft tyres. Our guest in the commentary box on Sunday is going to enjoy that very much. Not commenting, by the way, just watching the race. They'll be very happy with that.
That that gyro cam was really good
great.
on the banking.
I want that camera permanently. Think how great shots we could have with it. There's Alonso. Nearly won the race last year. Piastri's fast in that first sector with a 25.889. And Alonso across the line to go fifth on a 1:21.109. Yeah, not sure, by the way. Keep an eye on racefans.net. Will Wood is writing a very interesting article. So keep an eye on that. Piastri's up as well on Deltas.
I've heard about this.
Yes, yeah. Got a text message from him yesterday morning asking. I'm not going to spoil it. Asking about something. And I delighted by telling him every bit of information I knew and sending all the data over that I had and everything. So I know Will's a fan of this channel. Hello, Will, if you're watching. Nice to see you, my friend. Hope you're okay. And yeah, keep an eye on racefans.net. Must get Will in for something, a podcast or something along the line. Yeah, I know he's so busy during a race weekend. Kevin Magnussen now reporting he has understeer turn 5 and oversteer turn 9. I reckon that's a glitch. Look at the AI radio transcripts that flash up in Icon's box. Max Verstappen on dry tyres. Only 97 thousandths faster than Russell is on a 1:15.907. So 1:15.9 dead. Still the Deltas all moving. Lando's goes 4th. Schwartzman is 5th. He's going to photograph that, by the way, isn't he? The young Russian driver. Is he competing under a FIA international license? Yes, he's
I guess.
Hang on, he's running under the Israeli license, I've just noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hardly better, is it really? Thinking about that. of the two to choose from, that's hardly the best to come into it. Norris goes top, 1:14.519. Fastest third sector. Albon's gone 6th, 1:17.504. 2 Ferraris now looking strong as well. Let's have a look what Jess is saying out here. This morning has dragged. Yeah. Kimi might get Bono, you had there, Jess, yeah. Leclerc goes 8th, Sainz 5th, Albon in 7th, Alonso 2nd, as we see Italian Jesus. Antonio Giovinazzi, the reserve driver at Ferrari, but also their World Endurance driver and Le Mans winner, double Le Mans winner. Piastri closing in again. Sector 1 is a 25.432. Italian Jesus, yes. Piastri, 3/10 up in the middle sector. Megan told me something recently as well. She said, I swear she said that we're part French. So it's just, I'll get to confirm that in practice 3 tomorrow, but there was something she said, and I can't remember now. Piastri across the line, fastest 1:14.293. I know, got some Australian in this. 1:15.939. Like, different family member born and came over back. Russell's looking good, 26.069. Sainz 9th across the board, goes up to 3rd, 1:14.973. Interesting enough, he's on medium tyre. So is Charles Leclerc, so they're not wanting to waste their soft. 5 minutes to go. Russell on 1:13.766. Magnussen goes 7th. Perez still 20th according to the board and fighting for grip coming into 10, 11 and 12. 13 and 14 in the last 2 corners. The banking at 14. 6th, 7th, DRS open, 8th. 30.1.3 kilometers an hour, by the way. Still no sign of that red flag. Maybe they feel like it's just safe enough with no wind, no rain. But even the wind is still bad out there. Very, very high winds. Glad we've actually got a practice 1 session at all. But it's just catching a few of them out, snapping mid-corner and really not causing problems, but causing those oversteers that you're seeing. Norris down in sector 2. Alexander Albon goes 3rd. Max Verstappen getting blocked by an Alpine over the banking. Can't tell which one it is just yet. Verstappen goes across the line, only to 2nd, 1:14.282. And Norris 1:12.818 goes fastest. Hamilton has the fastest first sector as we go driver eye with him. Winner of the Belgium Grand Prix, winner of the British Grand Prix. 2 victories this season for Lewis Hamilton then. 50 points out of the last 3 races of a possible 75. He's got really strong in terms of maximum race wins. Ricciardo 13th. Sargent 8th. Both Williams, JT, up in the top 10. Their update's working.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Hamilton 2nd. 3/10 of the pace of Norris. Still Verstappen 4th. I know it's been a mixed session, but opens up the door that we can have 7 drivers in contention to win across 4 different manufacturers. The only one letting the side down is Sergio Perez. He's 15th in this session. Magnussen over the curb at 10.11. Oh, and kicking up a lot of water, JT.
Yeah, that happened to one of the other drivers as well earlier on in the session that I mentioned. Here's George Russell into the World to the Complex. Takes way too much curb at 11, and that unsettles him for 12 and 13.
How great did he save that, though, by just turning the wheel in to keep the car pointed? That was very well saved as Piastri goes up to third and Hulkenberg goes fourth. This is Max getting blocked. I think it's by Pierre Gasly. Gave him the hand as well. He gave him the hand and still went second fastest, by the way, briefly. Max is just another level. 2 minutes to go. Russell second, 1:13, 1:42. 4 Mercedes engines inside the top 4. All, are you ready for this? All Mercedes cars, all 6 of them, are inside the top 10, briefly.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. They've come in no
for
bounds.
this circuit.
Yeah, and in drying conditions, watch out for the Mercs come Saturday, Sunday then if it's a similar condition. Albon is looking good. Leclerc goes 8th, pushes Albon down to 9th, but Albon is 2 tenths off of Norris' time. So this is a second place run coming for Alexander Albon in the Williams. And maybe it is time we start talking about Williams as returning to the front of the field. If they continue with this pace and can continue with this attitude, maybe Williams will have the shot. Let's see, this should be second. It is third for Albon. 1:13, 1:59 on track improvement. That is impressive. If Williams returned to the front as race winners, I would be so amazed.
Yeah.
Everyone's out on the track, by the way. No one's in the pits. You can see how Matt is getting out there as well on the driver tracker. Alonso trying to get out of the way of everyone. He's blocked one of the Red Bulls and Max Verstappen. Hamilton's coming through. This is the problem with this track as well. It's short. It's really short. Hamilton getting blocked by Alonso. And Stroll, and Ricciardo, and Russell getting blocked as well by Red Bull. Q1 tomorrow is going to be about as entertaining as Monaco, isn't
Chaotic.
it? Yeah. It's always good. And throw rain on that, and if we get an interesting one like now where it's drying up, yeah, check the flags out.
Yeah.
We'll be so surprised if that happens. Who's going to improve then? Russell stays third, Stroll goes 7th. Russell was the first to take the line, so Russell, Stroll. There's the flag. Piastri stays 5th. Max Verstappen down in the middle sector. Not looking improving out there, unfortunately. Oh, and snapping out of 9. Into the hairpin at 10. Again, snapping out of braking. Red Bull does not look stable in these 27-kilometre gusts of wind. I suppose if you're Adrian Newey and you've designed a car to be crisp in the aero, adding extra air in at random parts really must spoil the car. So actually this could be a disadvantage for Red Bull this weekend, the high winds.
Yeah, it really could. We'll have to see what happens as here comes Norris up towards the flag. Verstappen first, He goes top by 3 tenths of a second, but Norris purple sector 1, green sector 2. Where does he go? He's currently second. He regains the first place by 2 tenths.
I'm kind of glad that happened, otherwise I would have had to eat my words on that front. It's a 1:12.322 for Norris. Verstappen second, Hamilton third, Sainz fourth, Russell 5th. And, yeah, Hamilton, the last one to take the flag. Where is he? Coming across the line now. It's 1:30 is his lap time, so Hamilton takes the flag and doesn't improve. So that's your order then at the end of the first practice session for the Dutch Grand Prix here in 2024. And it is McLaren back on top. There's Will Joseph, the senior race engineer for Lando Norris at McLaren. They're top, 1:12. 2 tenths off is Verstappen. And everyone got a run in bar Gasly on dry tyres. So that's also something to think about. We just hope the conditions are dry for this afternoon. so that we can get a interesting practice 2 session run around. Otherwise, it's just going to be crazy. Trying to work it all out. Dutch fans watching on. Let's have a look at Lewis Hamilton. This is him getting blocked, as I was on about. There's Alonso. I had so much traffic, he said over the text message. Not the greatest of runs, unfortunately. Yeah, Perez blocks Russell. That's why the camera just cuts away. Perez has no spatial awareness out there. Practice starts on the grid. Everyone choosing the racing line, because that's the dry line. So they've all lined up for a change, JT. That's quite funny.
Yeah, they're not normally all lined up. There are normally quite a couple of gaps in the field, but it seems like they are all going on the dry line and no double file.
Unless it's a rule from race control that this has changed about practice starts.
I haven't seen anything.
No, I'll just have a quick look at the race director's notes to see if that is the case. On board with Lando, he started right at the back in the practice start zone. That's quite interesting. Yeah, that seems a bit weird to me, doesn't it you? That nobody did 2x2.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's best versus worst part of the grid and dry line, wet line.
Standing starts. No practice starts may be carried out in the pit lane. No idea. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. Does not say anything. Interesting. No, race directions notes are clear. Lewis Hamilton's gone to the front of the grid though. Pole position. Into neutral. Select first gear. Bring it up to around about 12,000 RPM. Hold the throttle. Slowly release the clutch and away you go. Control the bike point fine. Third gear already. Into turn 1 and into Tarzan. Nicely done. Good start there from Lewis actually in mixed conditions. Expert 7-time world champion. 9-time British Grand Prix winner. So yeah, really has dragged this hour. Thanks for sticking with us, everyone.
Yeah.
We get a couple of hours break now before we go for the next one. Or is it 2:45? 2 hour break.
Yeah, 2:45.
Food and a nice television episode of something.
Food and saloon stock car racing on BeamNG.
That too. So, practice pit stops also now taking place at Red Bull for Perez and Verstappen. Good stop there. I believe that's Max's car as well. No, it's Perez. That'll come in. So, good first session then here for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's kind of weird having F1 back. Kind of need to adjust into it again. Hopefully, this afternoon's practice 2 revitalises it all and gives us something to watch. Imagine if this was a sprint weekend, JT. We would be buggered after that session because nobody knows anything. They have no data. It really dragged, and it's felt like we were back in 2009 during that, or 2010. You know, that period where it was like really 90-minute sessions on a damp, cold morning in Australia or Valencia. No one wants to head out there. So yeah, not a bad opening session. Nice and calm to relax entry. No one shouting at us on the screen for the opener here today. Here's your times then from the opening practice session for the Dutch Grand Prix as the conditions have vastly improved over the past couple of hours. It's Lando Norris top from Max Verstappen second, Lewis Hamilton is third, Carlos Sainz is fourth, George Russell fifth, sixth for Alexander Albon, seventh for Oscar Piastri, eighth Nico Hülkenberg, ninth Kevin Magnussen, 10th for Zhou Guanyu. Lance Stroll is 11th with Sergio Perez 12th, 13th on the board as well for Charles Leclerc, 14th Yuki Tsunoda, 15th Fernando Alonso, 16th for Zhou Guanyu, 17th for Logan Sargent, 18th Esteban Ocon, 19th Pierre Gasly and 20th 19th Daniel Ricciardo, 20th is Pierre Gasly. Jess says, I hope for it's exciting this afternoon. We all do, Jess, as well as the yellow flags come out. JT, your closing thoughts on this opening practice session?
Well, not much happened, did it?
No, not at all.
Other than Hulkenberg trying to find different parts of the track and different racing lines, which put 10 plus seconds off on your lap time. But it looks like it's clearing up. It could dry out for free practice 2, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, track's going mad right now as well, as the marshals are clearing up after that session as well. So my thanks to you, JT. My thanks to all of you at home as well. 2-hour break. 2:45 British summertime. We're back on air for free practice 2 here for the Dutch Grand Prix, and then straight after we'll have F1 Academy, their free practice 2 session as well. Thanks for your company here at Blistery Zandvoort in the sand dunes. Practice 1 complete. We'll be back for practice 2 later on. Take care. Bye bye.